So I'll give you time to ponder this here. Okay. So what's our write-up for tonight? Ta-da! Integrating concept and experience. Okay. Kind of a mind-body harmony, yeah? Integrating concept and experience. Okay. So basically, I'll do a standing one here in a minute, wait for latecomers to jump in. We'll do a physical level or a couple of dimensions of that. Then later we'll shift into finer dimensions. That's what that represents. Some degree of an energy level, okay? We're going to click onto an old film that'll be around in this area. And we won't do anything with this is a self here, self in the domain. So you go through finer and finer dimensions and self is there. Basically that pattern is just a different angle on a three-layer cake kind of thing. Okay, so they're all overlaid, heavier, easy, finer dimensions makes up finer character, the easy, finer and finer. And anytime along the way, when you're ready, the self will become more free and aware of itself, and it'll be self in its domain. Okay. So that's again overlaid. It's a three-layer cake pattern, if you would. So what's our count?
We're 22.
22. All right. Okay, I guess you ready to stand? Let's stand. Okay, give me a moment to change locations here. Okay. Working on that first, let me check here. Okay, about there, yeah. Okay, easy. Basics, physical, presence. Okay, now so there. I'm present, I'm here, nice idea, fine. Now the experience of being present, just that first early experience. To double check, I like to see what the body wants to do here. Just being present experientially, body should want to move and move, okay? In whatever form it wants to move in, keeping it here. Don't zip into the next room and then zip back. Okay. So the idea and its counterpart, the actual experience of it. Okay. Okay, let's start it off fairly simple here. The idea, what word are we using again tonight? Not the idea, we're using the word concept. No? Yes, concept. Okay. The idea or concept of a fuller or a better body, whatever that means to you, okay? Better body. So there's the concept. Now, easy and opening, settling and opening, the energies that are here, okay, are the heavier level of energies. So I guess we could call them body energies, and they mix up. They begin to breed. OSensei would say recreate yourself. Okay, that's very fancy. So I say remix yourself or rebreed yourself. Okay, so here, energy's mixing, a better body, whatever that means to you. So I'm beginning to feel the body. For example, I've noticed quickly that I'm getting some back support. Back in the back of my shoulders is suddenly, they're activating. Easy. Now don't go off thinking about it. Stay with the experience. And at this level, a better body. And I notice my legs extending into the ground, balanced a bit better. They feel equal. Not perfect as I double check it, but close, okay? Still at that level, easy, easy. Again, the idea was a better body. And now the experience of it, its counterpart. And it's mixing a better body, fuller body, whatever words that you like at the moment, a fuller body. Could be more capable body. Again, you're free to use whatever words feel comfortable for you at this time. This time. Yeah. Now my overall flavor is I could do something a bit physical now. Now again, I've been sitting on my front porch day after day, week after week, haven't been doing much movement at all. But here I feel like I could, Brad, throw that pillow at me. That I could get into a bit of a, yes, that feels not too bad. Okay, so the body mixed up a more active body, a body that wanted to play or exercise a bit. You're following this, okay, so let's do one more level or the continuation. Still a dimension related to physical, okay? Easy. I have to settle down a bit for better ground. With that better ground. Boom, now here comes the activation of the experience. Before it was back support. Here, my hips are activating. They're getting stronger. Easy, easy. Experience it. Experience it. Feel it. Let it move. Let it stretch itself. Yeah, I feel stronger in the shoulders. If I were to double check back to the pillow, for example, I feel more like, oh yeah, it's boom, it's kind of shoulder related. Hey, hook, yeah, hey, hook, okay. So settling at this level with the sense, anytime you settle, you can access more energies or they're being accessed. You're open to them and they mix up a fuller body, a better body, a more capable body, a more active body, whatever, again, the words that you like right now, okay? And we're using a simple body approach. It would work the same if you wanted the form on a different lineage. Being a better daddy, you could do that. And the energies would be there and help mix you as a better parent. Whatever, okay? We call that lineage, maybe. So So far, we're staying with physical form of measuring. Okay. And you can open mic. Any comments on a better body?
Hi, Sensei. This is Justin.
Go.
I had the distinct impression as we settled and opened to the next level of what you've said, like trading it in.
Mhm.
I had a sense of emptying the cup, so to speak,
Mhm.
to make room for more,
Mhm.
and the body wanted to move more. I found myself stepping instead of only, kind of like the 1 by 1 to 2 by 2 felt. But that emptying the cup, that came to me, that helped me at that moment.
Yeah, a clearing, a trading in, and easy of whatever was earlier and what is now. So all those basics of the trade in or the downtime, yes, those are still in effect. And as you get more comfortable with those trading in, downtime, letting go, this can really move along much faster, much fuller, quicker. Da-da.
On that
Somebody,
note, is it too soon to remind us about this express elevator idea or this
yeah,
Shazam?
too soon.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, if people get too soon, they won't even feel the body. But I have an idea of perfection. I want to go there. And in a certain way, we've lost them because they'll be majoring in this concept of whatever. A little soon, yeah. Let's just make sure we got our basics. Okay. You got your basics ingrained in your system. I like that word. Don't know if you like it, but ingrained in your system, where you know a great idea. Now there's a great body that's going to be equal to it, but it needs more time. Pump it. My idea is like 1, but it takes me 5 pumps minimum to where I've got a body sort of equal to that idea. Is that okay? A lot of people, I think, slough off on the experiential part because it's slow compared to the fast idea. You following me on that? So I tell you dumb stuff like I can think about Kauai and I can imagine right now, I can imagine myself there. In a moment, I'll be able to even smell the flowers, feel the warm breeze, and on and on. Now, to actually experience it in the human condition, I have to buy a ticket, I have to pack my bags, I have to go to the airport, I have to sit in a plane, and I'll be there, really experiencing it. So that's a little slow motion. But anyway, just so you don't forget, the idea is fast, but don't mind how many pumps it takes to have the fuller of the actual experience. Okay, so whether it takes 5 pumps or 12 pumps, I don't care, but just make sure they're in balance. Okay, so just the awareness people may find that to be too slow and too dumb. So this whole world, universe of experience, they're not really that into it. They have an idea about experience. Oh yeah, you can experience the whole universe. That's it, I'm finished. No, you're not. The actual experience. Of course, it's going to take a little bit longer, but don't freak out about it. Learn to enjoy that process of the more and more of it. The percentage game. Yeah. Okay. Very basic, important. Ingrain that in your system. Okay, where the hell are we? Have we picked up anybody, Brad? Count?
We're at 25.
Quiet tonight, huh? Okay. Then we're going to move into an energy. Maybe we can stand on that for a couple of moments. Okay, let's do one there. Energy. Okay. Okay. So, to quick repeat, we settled, we opened, ground settled, open, energies mixed, a better body. And then we continued a little bit better level there, mixing up an even better body. Boom, better body. Hey, fuller, stronger, whatever you're experiencing there. And as we continue trading in some type of downtime thing, easy, trade in a sense, finer dimension. And the finer of the energies is here. At first, I'm still in the imagining of it. Easy, easy. Okay, and then more the experience. If those finer energies were mixing me up, finer level, easy, easy. The way my body is moving, starting to feel kind of Chinese fighting style there. Easy. I'm liking the balance when it shifts from side to side, how it's still centered a certain way, even here, it's still centered. Still centered. I don't know, I'm enjoying that. Easy, finer dimension, mixes up an energy character. Remember, all these mixes have a core. So the physical body mix had a physical core. The energy body mix has a core of the energy person. Here's where you could follow the Tai Chi lineage of a Tai Chi master. There'd be a core at the level they're at. They move into a better level, there'd be a core, okay? So all those basics continue, okay? Finer energy, finer energy. What's your feeling? Energy, body, sense, what's your feeling in an energy realm mix? What are you noticing? Very distinct, for me, a very distinct sense of more fluidity. If somebody said, oh, it's like water moving around, I would go, oh, yeah. I'm sensing that too. What's your experience here at this level? I know my arms are still, intellectually, I know my arms are still the same length, but they feel longer. They feel longer, a sense of longer. Easy. What's your experience? Mixing yourself up as an energy level, you. What's your early experience of that? Right. Easy. We don't have to keep jumping back to more idea. You had enough idea with energy level, energy body, energy person. That's good enough. Now the experience of it. And again, it's a percentage game. More experience of it. Here, the sense of intaking and outtaking is starting to get very clear to me. That is an easy movement. Draw them in, kick them back. It feels very natural for me. If you start to talk about receptive, positive, I'd be to some degree more, oh yeah, I'm following you. Because that's the level I'm at. Okay? We'll open mic and you can tell me your experience in that early stage of energy being. Oopa, which is that picture there. Okay. And somebody, energy person, you. what's your experience?
Sensei, Chris here from New Zealand. A hum or a tingling in into the fingers. Not quite the extension yet, but
Yeah.
starting to expand.
Yeah.
Extend.
Any kind of extra warmth would clue you in? Tingling? Yes, you're in an energy level, at a beginning level. And yeah, it should be getting warmer and tingling and maybe a sense of flowing a bit. Of course, yes. Somebody, what's your experience at this level? Noah, you're allowed to speak.
Sensei, it's a sense of a glowing and open energy body.
Okay. So emanations from the energy body or the core of the energy body, however you want to word it, that is starting to, at that level, yes, she should notice that I'm here. Okay. All right, yeah. It should naturally radiate out. In fact, look at the picture. You see that yellow glow around there? That's why it's there, Bob. There should be some, if not right now for all of you, very soon in an energy realm, some sense of radiation, an aura, a glow. And when it's actually there, you should actually feel the glow after a bit. I often feel that where I can feel the glow from my face at first, and then a bigger sense of it. Again, percentage game. So if you're not feeling these things some of us are going to talk about, if you continue here, you're not that far away. You're a couple of minutes away. Okay, whatever. Somebody, energy level, what's your experience? Nice idea. What's your experience? Or we're not using idea, we're using concept. Concept. Okay, there's the concept. Now here's the experience. What's the early stages of the experience? Ta-da!
I can say this is Joanna. The first one I felt in the physical body, it was a little faster, but on the next level, I felt slower, like my pace, it was slower, but fuller and with more mobility. It was more smoothly, I don't know, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, smoothness clues you in. Yeah. When I'm too thick, I'm not smooth, you know, but I settle down a bit and then I start to move smoother. Yeah, but at a heavier level, I can't move smooth. I know I could last week, and I know I should because I'm a nani don, but if I'm at a Bobby level, I can't. Okay, what makes me faster now, but I know it's there. Click, hit, clack, boom, and it's there to some degree. Not my best, but I'm starting to enter that realm. So I just get faster at it. That's all. I know it's there. I don't, is it there yet? How do I know I'm not making this up? And all that endless bullshit that people get caught up into. You get a little experience and like, oh, okay, you settle, boom, hey, and here it is to some degree. Easy. Still feels a little bit in, but it's a little warmer. So a pro and a con. It's warmer, but I feel a little pull-in up here. Okay, easy. It's all right. It's a percentage game. A little bit more in there. It's mixing up better. And okay, there's very little pull-in. I don't notice it at all. A tiny bit of pull-in. But the major is on the outflow. See, the way my hands moved, I didn't say move that way. They move that way because at this level, it's the way they move. Okay. Yeah. So somebody, what's your experience playing in the beginnings of an energy dimension level energy person, you? Justin, you got something to add in an energy realm?
I do. With my first finer, I noticed and experienced moving with a better sense of core. But in second finer, there was a noticeable yin yang or back and forth
Yeah.
around the core that wasn't obvious in the first
Yeah.
part. The
It
push or
almost
pull.
doesn't exist in the first
Yeah.
part kind of thing.
I
Yeah.
know it was there. And what Bob was sharing, I didn't sense an emanation per se, but as he was describing it, I could figure that might be the next or soon pieces of what comes after the pushing and the pulling and the extending of the core, etc.
Yeah, sometimes you get, I call that a preview, where it's not quite there yet, but it's close enough where you're seeing the preview of the movie that's going to come out a few days later. Yeah, I call those previews. I'm sort of aware of it, but I'm not quite experiencing it or not really experiencing it a lot. But sure as shit, you're right. That's what's going to be next because you're picking up a preview. Yeah. So, yeah. And one last one. Somebody? Energy.
Hey, it's Tom. Sensei, it's Tom.
Oh, Tom. Sorry,
Hi.
I went blank for a minute. Yes, Tom.
Yeah, I do that all day long, actually. I spent a lot of time today driving and having my face in a computer. So this first experience for me is being aware of my back, my whole self, front and back, gave a more whole sense of wholeness and potential. Not just in front of me, but behind me, around me. I feel a whole base, so to speak.
Yeah, to do any Ueshiba techniques, for example, you would really want to be at that level minimum, right? Where your back is alive and alert. Otherwise, Ueshiba techniques are kind of strange because I'm the guy up the front trying to figure out what's happening behind me as they grab my shoulder or push me or whatever. Yeah. So to do Ueshiba techniques, I would quickly get to this level and then I begin to do Ueshiba technique, somebody in the back pushing, grabbing, whatever. So yeah, are we on in accord?
Right?
Movie time. Somebody from Europe bumped into this and they really liked it. And they sent me a copy and I hadn't seen this since forever. But I think the film is a very good for this energy level. It's the early levels of an energy level, but keep that in mind that I'm trying to present some level of this energy level. Okay? Film. Okay. This is at summer camp, Dominican College. That's Tijabel.
In no way trying to squat them on down. Okay. So alive, because you've got good contact and the energies are flowing, good ground contact and the energies are flowing, still good ground contact and it's still flowing. Okay, one more time, thank you. Once you've learned the basic form, which is fairly simple, right? Some folks do higher. Then, for me, I'm not sure what more I can get out of just repeating basic form. I like to change dimensions, if that phrase is okay, and start to play in an energy realm. Okay? All right? If I can't change dimensions or have some other change of consciousness, after a few years, I'm going to get bored just repeating the same forms. It's got to be something more in this for me other than repetitive form. Okay? So once you've learned your form, if you like, catch, what should we call it this week? An opening that energies flow through. And although your form is basically the same, there's some new growth going on. Okay, and we can call it energy related if you like. Okay. Checking to see my relationship with my energy using my partner for reference. Okay. After a while, if I'm just using my partner for reference, he can't tell me anything. I want to change myself in relation to the situation. Okay, so basics, of course, yes. And if you like, find out how the energies work in such a way that they create a change of consciousness. Does that mean anything to you? Give it 2 more minutes. And I can't do that if I'm uptight about the pressure. I can muscle him sometimes. Okay. But if I open up, it gives room for the energies to flow as the energies flow. It's much more than through my body. It's around. That's why he's breaking down, because there's enough opening where the energies are touching him. Okay. Under pressure, open up, let the energies flow. Okay. All right, enough on that? Let's change techniques. Could it go? So it'll be katate. Before they dig in, we'll guide them as we move in. And we'll play hugsies. I like to play hugsies on the first night. And we'll change partners a whole bunch. So you'll get to hug a lot of people. Okay? And we'll move in and we'll practice hugging, because some of us need practice. Teaser doesn't, but I do. Again, once you've learned the form and about the right position, after a while, there isn't much more to learn. So I like to, again, practice with energy at an attempt of a change of consciousness. For example, as I begin to do that, I'm aware that I allow him to express himself more. Okay, if I don't do that and I'm uptight, then I tend to clash. Okay. Let's open a bit and let the energies flow. Kind of catch that I'm more allowing than my norm. Okay. Allow him to express. So there's a piece of that here. Allow him to express. And then I come in. Okay. So we don't want to come in against his power. Okay. So that's the attitude part of it. Kenny. Then also what happens in the energy, it starts to spiral around. Okay. All right. So once you start to open and the energy starts to flow, those things begin to happen. Yeah, circle. I'm not working that hard physically for it, but as the energy flows. Okay. Okay, so we allow them to express and. Okay. And as you open, let the energies flow. There tends to be a pretty good center. Your center tends to hook in well to his center. Okay. So it's not just the physical location. All right. There's a physical location, but you can have the physical location and still not be blending with him. You see, there's a place where it's more open. That's going to be the phrase of the week. There's a place where it's more open, where our centers seem to be overlapping. It's just a sense. Okay. Okay, so once you've learned the basic form, let's see how the energy's working here. What? Are you okay? Okay, step on his foot there. Okay, play. Using the word opening so far this week, kind of more open. Things flow. Okay, so I allow them to express, even help them to express, help bring more out of them. Okay. Okay. let's just work that part of it. So we will not enter in, okay? We'll just see if we're allowing them to express. Okay, just do the best you can to bring something out of them. Whether it's your puppy dog or your child, do the same thing. Sometimes we try to get them to go someplace. Something happens when you open center. Open center seems like gets to go where he wants to go. Okay. Okay, so I think sometimes we try to get a result. Instead of changing our beingness, we try to get a result. He's supposed to go around here, so darn it, let's get him over there. Okay. But seems like something changes when you change.
Lauren?
And that's the end of the video. Can you hear me, Sensei? That's the end. We played it through.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I thought the video was good because I thought it was starting to show the, I don't know what to call it, the early stages of an energy dimension. Could we call it that? Early, middle part of an energy dimension. Okay. Let's see. I don't know, anything off the top here? On that?
Sensei, this is Tija.
Before you start,
All right.
Can you tell me roughly what year this might be?
I was trying to figure that out too. It's someplace between 89 and 92, I think, right in there.
You can tell by your hair?
Yeah, I can tell by my hair. My hair, yes, I can tell that.
For the people, Tija was Uke, Ken Kron was Uke, and Hana.
That was Elaine, I believe that was Elaine Yoder. You don't think so? Okay. Well,
Hana.
Anna? Okay.
Hana.
Okay, Hana then. The point I'd like the thing I'd like to point out in relationship to your teaching is to see the congruity that you've had with the connection with energy and alignment and the principles of Aikido. And it's really expressed so beautifully in your waza, in your technique. One of the things that I've noted over the years in talking with, other teachers especially in Northern California, like Duran Sensei and others, they say that your foundations, your basics are impeccable, and that you have established and represent and express that so beautifully. And it was great to see that with the various ukes, and to see that expression of the integration of your energy principles in your technique.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see.
Yeah. Well, again, I think it goes back to what I'm trying to get at, and that's a finer dimension level of yourself should naturally, in some form, produce better. Here we happen to be doing Aikido techniques as an example, but in whatever endeavor you're in, musician, surgeon, whatever, that a better inner should produce naturally better outer. Okay. For me, kind of a basic, and where we're trying to go with this to that to a real big jump, a real important one is to the self in the domain, where the same thing will happen. And it'll be fascinating to, see, experience, see what other people are going to pick up. With that level of that amount of inner manifesting outer, this is going to be fun. Yeah. So that's where I want to get to here eventually. Okay. Day after tomorrow. Let's move, people. Let's see. I'm wondering. I'm wondering if we should run the film again, and then we'll stop each time the film stops to change, whatever you call that. We'll dialogue for a moment. Is that?
That's fine, Sensei. Here we go.
Okay.
That's why that happens. I'm in no way trying to squat them on down. Okay, so alive, because you've got good contact and the energies are flowing, good ground contact and the energies are flowing, still good ground contact, and it's still flowing. Okay, one more time. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Bip. No. It bipped. I want to bip.
Once you've learned the basics.
Lauren, what happened to my blip?
It went by so fast, Sensei, that I paused and I can't control it quite so accurately. So I can back up if you want. Or
I don't think there was anything that important to say on that first one. Was there?
Okay, so I'm gonna
continue. Yes.
Here we go again.
Okay, so that's why that happens. I'm in no way trying to squat them on down. Okay, so alive, because you've got good contact and the energies are flowing, good ground contact and the energies are flowing, still good ground contact, and it's still flowing. Okay, one more time. Thank you. Learn the basic form, which is fairly simple, right? Some folks do higher. Then, for me, I'm not sure what more I can get of just repeating basic form. I like to change dimensions, if that phrase is okay, and start to play in an energy realm. Okay, all right. If I can't change dimensions or have some other change of consciousness, after a few years, I'm going to get bored just repeating the same forms. There's got to be something more in this for me other than repetitive form. Okay, so once you've learned your form, if you like, catch, what should we call it this week? An opening that energies flow through. And although your form is basically the same, there's some new growth going on. Okay, and we can call it energy related, if you like. Okay. Checking to see my relationship with my energy using my partner for reference. Okay. After a while, if I'm just using my partner for reference, he can't tell me anything. I want to change myself in relation to the situation. Okay. So basics, of course, yes. And if you like, find out how the energies work in such a way that they create a change of consciousness. Does that mean anything to you? Give it 2 more minutes.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. Comments on that piece there. The basics, ground, open to a better ground. Ground represents a dimensional change. Okay. And a good ground, you're at a different level, so more energies can come in, mix and come into play. In that mix, I'm using the phrase there, consciousness change. I'm not weird Bobby anymore after a bit. There's a change of my viewpoint, a change of my attitude, which will show up a little clearer soon. Any comments on that piece?
Sensei, this is Lauren, and my comment is that it's, I'm really struck by how you're saying that, basic technique, a fundamental technique can get boring if it's just repetitive, but that it can also be a vehicle for energy work. And
anything. Let me jump in, Lauren. Swinging a golf club, a tennis racket, dealing with a patient, healing your patient, whatever your endeavor is. Yeah. So I'm sorry, you're on.
Well, just that the fundamentals, you were demonstrating Taino Henko, so basic, but you were able to show us, and I'm sure that the uke felt and the people around you felt how you changed it from, merely Taino Henko physical to an energy flow. And it's a good lesson for us to invest our basics with as much energy as we can. I really appreciated that in the video.
Sensei, this is Tija. If I can comment on my experience being the uke for you there. There's a couple of moments when you really start to open up. I don't know if you see the ukemi there, but I just go under the floor about a foot because that's energetic space opened up. It wasn't something you were trying or I was hoping to do. It just happened. The energy space, it was a little bit like a trap door. I mean, we do that. That energy just opened up underneath, and it's a beautiful thing to experience that, because I have no fear and in harmony with the action of the movement of the universe through you. It's a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So in the experience, using the floor as reference, or meaning depth, meaning a finer dimension, that it's not just an idea. When you begin to experience it, then things can begin to happen that Tisha's trying to say, where it's the energies actually, he could feel them moving from under, not just at floor level, but even deeper from under. He could, in experiencing Azuke, he could feel that happening. So it's not just an idea, it's an actual. Don't know if I said that proper, but thank you, Tisha, yes.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And we'll see a little more depth here after a couple of minutes. Anybody else before we move on to film?
Sensei, this is Bob. You led a discussion we had when we were in Japan in 1998 about kind of the future of Aikido, which at the time was about 50 years old. And one of the things you said that you really see in this is just the repetition of techniques. Because people said, yeah, well, if we train for 50 years, then we'll look like OSensei.
Yeah.
But we were there at 50 years and nobody was doing it.
Yeah.
Bob's. Because of the missing dimensionality that you were describing.
Yeah. The heavies in Japan, this story came from Japan, where a couple of the eager young up-and-comers would say, because OSensei had by this time 50 years in, they'd say, boy, when I get 50 years in, I'm going to be as good as OSensei, was how they would work it. And I was kind of like, I don't think so, but what did I know in those days? But I didn't think so. And lo and behold, 50 years went by and we don't have any next OSenseis at that level. So see, they think if they can have 50 years of physical training, of repeating those moves, doing them a little faster, maybe a little smoother, but they're extrinsic with that. And they really think they're going to be an OSensei type? Ain't no way in hell. So thank you, Bob, for reminding me of that story.
And Sensei, as you've mentioned, OSensei had said at one time that it's so easy.
Once you catch on to.
Yeah, certainly.
And get a little experience, not just catch on intellectually.
That's the other thing I wanted to mention.
Of those, what we were saying earlier, get a little ingrain those first earlier levels in your system, so that as things open up more and stuff, you don't get, oh, wow, look at that, I've arrived, instead of, no, wait, what happened to the experience here at this level?
That's what I wanted to mention when I was watching you and Tija. that it was on one hand clear that there was an opening of consciousness, but it was obvious that it was an experience also.
And hopefully that'll show better in the next part of the film. But keep that in mind, because I think it's going to show even better. We okay so far, people? Yeah? Lauren?
Okay. And I can't do that if I'm uptight about the pressure. I can muscle him sometimes. Okay. But if I open up, it gives room for the energies to flow as the energies flow. It's much more than through my body. It's around. That's why he's breaking down, because there's enough opening where the energies are touching him. Okay. Under pressure, open up, let the energies flow. Okay. Right, enough on that? Let's change techniques. Gonna go. So it'll be katate. Before they dig in, we'll guide them as we move in. And we'll play hugsies. I like to play hugsies on the first night. And we'll change partners a whole bunch. So you'll get to hug a lot of people. Okay? And we'll move in and we'll practice hugging, because some of us need practice. Teaser doesn't, but I do. Again, once you learn the form and about the right position, after a while, there isn't much more to learn. So I like to, again, practice with energy at an attempt of a change of consciousness. For example, as I begin to do that, I'm aware that I allow him to express himself more. Okay, if I don't do that and I'm uptight, then I tend to clash. Okay. So open a bit and let the energies flow. Kind of catch that I'm more allowing than my norm. Okay. Allow him to express. So there's a piece of that here. Allow him to express. And then I come in. Okay. So we don't want to come in against his power. Okay. So that's the attitude part of it. Kenny. Then also what happens in the energy, it starts to spiral around. Okay. All right. So once you start to open and the energy starts to flow, those things begin to happen. Yeah, circle. I'm not working that hard physically for it, but as the energy flows. Okay. Okay, so we allow them to express and. Okay. And as you open, let the energies flow, there tends to be a pretty good center. Your center tends to hook in well to his center. Okay, so it's not just a physical location, all right? There's a physical location, but you can have the physical location and still not be blending with him. You see, there's a place where it's more open. That's going to be the phrase of the week. There's a place where it's more open, where our centers seem to be overlapping. It's just a sense. Express. So there's a piece of that.
And Sensei, you wanted me to stop?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
So let's see. Okay, I think for me, and I hope you caught that piece about Tisha doesn't need to practice hugging, but I do. I thought that was cute. No, you didn't catch it. And anyway. I think admitting who you are at any given level of you and knowing your shortcomings, I think is a nice honesty factor. In my work, I like to be honest. Okay. If I'm a 10-pounder, I'm a 10-pounder at that moment. I don't say, no, I'm really a 15-pounder. Look at my range. That means nothing. If I'm a 10-pounder at the moment, I'm a 10-pounder. I like to be honest with myself in my process. Okay, bad enough we have bullshitters in the world, but to have spiritual bullshitters is, oh dear, really? Don't bullshit. If you're having the experience, actually the experience, less likely to bullshit. Experience usually doesn't bullshit. Having an idea about experience will bullshit. Having an idea about an idea will bullshit. But properly, the fuller of the experience, the stuff of experience tends to be honest. 10-pounder will say he's a 10-pounder, 20-pounder will say he's a 20. Okay. And in saying I'm a 20 doesn't mean I don't know there's the potential for a 30, but at the moment I'm a 20. Okay. What else? Oh, okay. I think we started here also with this beginning of changing consciousness was the word I was using, where I just felt myself wanting, or it was natural to allow him to express. See, it wasn't an idea where I said, I've got to get him to express himself. I didn't have that idea. It was through this experience that the next part of the experience just felt like, oh, he wants to come through. Let him come through. Let him express himself. So that phrasing came out of the experience, not an idea about it beforehand. I don't know if I said that well.
No, that was clear, Sensei.
Okay.
So not only did you say it well, but you weren't, when I was doing the ukemi there for you, you weren't trying to make me fall, right? You were just opening the space and guiding through, and my body was just doing what seemed natural at that moment. A couple of times I fell, other times I didn't.
Yeah.
But it was that teaching of allowing the expression, allowing the natural expression to come through.
Yeah.
So it's not always putting people down on the mat.
Yeah. And to have that same flavor if you're a therapist, to be present with them at that level so that they will express their fears or their hang-ups, whatever kind of therapy you're doing, that your very presence helps bring that out of them. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah, and Sensei, that's such an important message that we see you in this video. It's all the difference in the world, whether you do Irimi Nage to drive the guy through the mat, or if you do Irimi Nage to encourage them or allow them to express themselves. It feels so different from both Uke and Nage, I think. And it's really clear in this video.
Yeah. And often I have people change the sense of who the uke is. If you say, okay, now the uke is your child, are you going to drive him through the mat?
Right.
I don't think so. And if you can't catch the difference and you do drive your uke child through the mat, dear God, what kind of father are you? We know those kind of guys are out there. They destroy their children, okay, and verbally, emotionally, somehow they destroy them. That's why I make jokes about, picking on football players, unfortunately, punching out their pregnant girlfriends in the elevator. I mean, my God, these are massive, powerful guys, and that's what they resort to, punching out their pregnant girlfriend in the elevator or wherever. What a sad, sad condition. So just heavy duty extrinsic will lead us to insanity like that. What a shame. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let's continue. Thank you, Lauren. Can we continue?
Here, allow them to express, and then I come in. Okay. So we don't want to come in against his power. Okay. So that's the attitude part of it. Kenny. Then also what happens in the energy, it starts to spiral around. Okay. All right. So once you start to open and the energy starts to flow, those things begin to happen. Yeah, circle. I'm not working that hard physically for it, but as the energy flows, okay. Okay, so we allow them to express and. Okay. And as you open, let the energies flow. There tends to be a pretty good center. Your center tends to hook in well to his center. Okay, so it's not just a physical location. All right, there's a physical location, but you can have the physical location and still not be blending with him. You see, there's a place where it's more open. That's going to be the phrase of the week. There's a place where it's more open, where our centers seem to be overlapping. It's just a sense, okay? Okay, so once you've learned the basic form, let's see how the energy's working here. What? Are you okay? Okay, step on his foot there. Okay, play.
Let's see. There's a couple of things there, but I blanked on what they were. That circle happening wasn't something I had an idea about because I was in the area of more experience and I was continuing to open to it. Then the energy showed that they wanted to circle more. So it wasn't my idea because I've been taught I should really circle him, which is an all right approach, but this is the other side of it, the other way of it. In the experience itself opening up, the energies itself said, we're going more circular. It's self-evident they're going more circular. Did I say that okay? The second part was the overlapping centers. It wasn't like I had an idea to work on my center, but in this experience, that the center started to show that that's what it was doing. I could experience it. That's why I said it. But I had the experience first before I said it and was, let's say, clearly aware of it. It came out of the experience. So you can have the idea and get the experience, or you can have the experience and have an idea. Oh, center to center is important, kind of thing. Again, don't know if I said that well. Anything up to this point? Anybody?
That was
Yes, Mike.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I was just going to say, Sensei, my sense of watching it and also having experienced being okay with you is you're drawn, as you settle more and more, uke is drawn into the process. And the word that comes to my mind is sucked. You're literally sucked into a void, basically. That's my feeling. And it's yeah. The word suction is for me, a very descriptive word of the experience.
Yeah.
As it settles down and down.
Yeah. In other words that come up there, I think attraction, a magnetism, Noah.
Magnetism is good, Sensei, and it's something you're describing the experience you're having. You're not proscribing what's going to happen.
Yeah. And how can Bobby be magnetic? He can learn the word, he can understand the theoretical about magnetism, but ain't no way Bobby is going to be magnetic. But at a certain level, the beginnings of that start to show. It's like, oh my God, felt like he was pulled in. Wow, how did that happen? Kind of thing. It's at a certain level where those things begin to happen naturally. They're natural at that level. Yeah. Again, don't know if I said that well, but.
It was very clear in Kenny's body. You guys were standing upright, center to center, and then it just as the circle opened, he just got in the wave of that circular movement, and you were in the center, and he just went down. It was seamless.
Yeah. And then you begin to start to get a hint of center the circle and circle the center. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's an important, I don't know what to call it, big universal. Certain things are ongoing. Center is ongoing, circle is ongoing, center to circle and circle to center is big time ongoing. Downtime, just wait a minute, let me catch my breath here. Okay, there, I feel better. Let's continue running. All right. Or I need a break. Let me nap for a half an hour. Boom. Anyway, there, okay, I feel more revived. Let's continue the job. But those downtimes are big time. You're just seeing the first earlier stages of them. But they're big time. I tried to say that by going from a moment downtime to a nighttime of downtime, and then wake up for the next day, to a winter of downtime and the springtime that follows it. Downtime and boom is a ongoing big time thing. So certain things are big time. Okay. So blah, blah, blah.
Sensei, this is Lauren. I'd like to add something about what we just saw, the video. Both Mike and Teja described, suction or being absorbed or magnetism, whatever words we want to use. And I think that the people who heard you say that got one level of experience or insight. The people who watched it might not even know what's going on, but they saw it happen and they can't deny their eyes. But the uke, they had it through their body completely without thinking in that instant. And I think that one of the beautiful things about Aikido that you kind of showed is that you're able to transmit this phenomena to your uke even before they understand it. They can experience it. Even before they do it themselves as nage, they can experience it as uke. And it's so impressive as to see the ukemi and to, appreciate how accepting the uke has to be to keep up. So thank you so much for sharing this with us.
And following that, the better the uke is feeling or having an experience, not thinking about, pay attention here.
Right.
Not looking at nage who's going to throw me, not trying to figure him out, but the actual feeling of it. If you notice when I teach, and I try to start the new people off as soon as possible, feel this. Okay, so if they stay in that thinking mode or viewing mode or intellectual mode, if I can understand this, I can do it, they'll get much more out of feeling what's going on. So yeah, that's why it's a big time word for me. That's why I push on it on the mat. So I think
Sensei, it's Mike again. I just wanted to say in connection with that for me, it's the word trust that you get you get the best result as nage when uke is prepared to fully trust you. And I think for people to completely trust another person is actually quite a big barrier for some people to cross, and it's only when you're prepared to cross that barrier that you can have the experience.
Well, I guess it's a matter of being appropriate with your partner. If you hurt your partner, then how do you expect him to trust you the next time you're going to be the nage?
Well, that's true, but I think it goes beyond that. I think really trusting another person.
I was just using that as a blatant.
Yes.
Everything goes beyond whatever level you're going to say, whatever level I say, it goes beyond that. And you say something highfalutin, and it goes beyond that. That's the game. Always. That's what all those lines mean. You think you got it, it goes beyond. You think you got it with the next line, it goes beyond. It's just a good sense to have, that to be open for next. To, as nice as where you're at is, appreciate the hell out of it, but don't stay there forever, because there is the next. Trade that in for the next. If you have a real interest of getting to the core of the matter, or the more original of you, then you have to do that. If you just want to get to a better level and you feel a bit better and you're happy there, I call that level of comfortableness. Go ye and be happy. Don't bother anymore, because I'm a prodder, I'm a pusher, I'm a come on, let's move, people kind of guy. But if you reach your level of happiness, go ye and be happy. Send me a card at Christmas. Okay.
And
Anyway.
Sensei, I'm sorry, pardon me.
Teacher? No, sorry.
This is
Lauren?
Lauren, I was going to play the last section of the tape.
Yes, let's finish this up.
Word opening so far this week. More open. Things flow. Okay, so I allow them to express, even help them to express, help bring more out of them. Okay. Let's just work that part of it, so we will not enter in. Okay, we'll just see if we're allowing them to express. Okay, just do the best you can to bring something out of them. Whether it's your puppy dog or your child, do the same thing. Sometimes we try to get them to go someplace. Something happens when you open center. Open center. Seems like gets to go where he wants to go. Okay. Okay, so I think sometimes we try to get a result. Instead of changing our beingness, we try to get a result. He's supposed to go around here, so darn it, let's get him over there. Okay. But seems like something changes when you change.
Thank you, Lauren. Yeah. So one piece that caught my attention was that low swoop, following on what Tija was saying about the flow. He caught it as being deeper than the ground and getting caught up in that. And so that last one with Kenny was even deeper than that. And that's what that movement showed. Again, there was this sense, as Nage, there was this sense that the deeper was there. And then my body did that point. It wasn't like by pointing, I can get that to happen. You can point all day and shit's going to happen, people. But at that level, it'll begin to erupt from under, kind of thing. Whatever. Anything else there? Allowing, yeah, to help draw. If you're a therapist, be in such a modality where your very presence brings their inner turmoiled secrets out, where they can express them, where they can get healed, whatever, or come to terms with it, or whatever. And so I said something about do the same thing with your puppy dog, do the definitely same thing with your kid. How I got my first job with the dogs was I bought a dog, I trained a dog, and I brought him back to the kennel to show the boss man there what I had done with the dog. And he was very impressed because apparently I had taken a medium bloodline German Shepherd and was getting him to do some fantastic stuff beyond his price level, beyond his breeding level. So I had that capability of drawing more out of this dog than should have been there. And that's what impressed the boss, man. He hired me to work in the kennel and train dogs and stuff. Okay, so as an example, unfortunately, in maybe children's education, we teach children, but do we have any resources for sensing their capabilities that are there to draw it out of them? Maybe that would take a little more time. Maybe the system doesn't have the time to do that, or the personnel who are capable of doing that, to read deeper into the person and see what talents are there, what qualities are there, and to help draw those out. That would be fantastic in education. But it's going to be a rarity, unfortunately, until we get more people where that's a norm. And that would be a normal way of dealing with children, and on and on and on. So there's the future, not next year, but hopefully the future of society, if we're going to make any headroads. You got to stop yawning. You're throwing me off here. No yawning on my program. Are we finishing up here?
Depends if someone has some more comments. Anybody?
Bob, this is Catherine.
Hey,
And
Catherine.
yeah, what I was struck with in the last video clip was you said we tend to go for a result.
Mhm.
And in this case, in Aikido, we want someone to fall down because that will demonstrate that we've done something. And you said instead of changing ourselves. And to me, that is a pretty significant, insight, wisdom, value. It's like,
Yeah.
no different result will occur unless I change. And you mentioned the example of students training for 50 years at, I would assume, Dojo, and there's no change. And I think all of us have heard some form of this definition, that the definition of insanity is expecting a different result.
Even though you're at the heavy
Yeah.
level doing the same heavy thing. Yeah, I know. They're crazy out there, Catherine. They're crazy. You think
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
crazy, they're crazy.
So that to me, all of the clips and watching the demo, and of course, kind of being taken back there at that time period, but still, it's the me changing that gets the result from that deeper space. So I just wanted to comment on that.
And if you noticed at one technique, maybe with Hana, where I was doing the same move, I said, we won't throw now. We'll just work on this opening, allowing, inviting, whatever they called it. Because I knew so many of them there wanted to get the hit in that they would pay no attention to this level where they get allowed in, where they're drawn in, whatever word you want to use there, that they wouldn't notice it because they want to get the hit in. That's their proof. So yes. Old problem in Aikido. They want to get the hit no matter what. Sad, it's sad. Oh, well. Thank you, Catherine.
And Sensei, I think you've mentioned more than once, if OSensei was working on a technique and it wasn't quite coming together just right, that he didn't try harder. Instead, he worked his process.
That was I saw that. I already could kind of place them a certain way. Let's see. That it wasn't just once he was touched by a magic feather and he was OSensei, but that if he was off a little bit, he had a way of processing that really caught my attention. I saw that and I said, okay, There is a process. It's not happenstance. It's not the gods looked with favor upon you. It's a process. What do you think we're going through all this bullshit for? It's a process. Anyway, anybody, anything before we finish up here?
Sensei,
It was, this is Tom. It was a wonderful pleasure to see you in your role as a teacher back in a time where, I don't know what I was.
That I was handsome.
That was
Just say it, Tom. Back in the
you.
time when I was handsome.
It's wonderful, and I really appreciate being able to see this. The thing that really stands out for me is how connected to the mat you are and were, and how just fluid in your connection with the mat and your grounding is tremendous. I think any energy that entered your circle would spiral and come out of the circle or down to the mat, however you were spiraling or channeling your energy, because you were so connected and grounded. And it's an inspiration. That's my personal takeaway from my practice now.
Let me jump in. I'm not sure if I would say I channel my energies.
Right.
At a certain level, the energies are kind of clear to me in some form or other. I see them, I sense them somehow. And I just follow them. When I did that deep, whatever I did at the end, I wasn't saying, okay, energies, I want you to do this. They were showing us deep under. I said, oh, okay, they're going deep under. I just followed the energies. I didn't direct them a certain way, kind of thing. I got to be careful of me. I can do, me do. I control the universe. I don't want to head that way, kind of thing. So I stay away from any sense like that, because I know I probably have a bit of the power to whatever in me also, like everyone else, kind of thing, you know. Right. Anyway, so I'm just leery with certain wordings.
No, well said. Well said. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sensei, this is Gina.
Yes, Gina.
Hello. I would like to just testify how important that feeling is that you talk about, because I've only experienced it once from you. You know, I don't do Aikido. I'm not Miss Physical in any way. And the first day I met you on some class I was taking from you, I had no idea who you were or what you were doing. And you chose me and flipped me upside down. And that feeling I've never forgotten. And I'm still here 50 years later trying to get it. Thank you very much.
You didn't get hurt,
feeling
right?
is really important because it sure hooked me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we're finishing up, are we? Okay, so the next few weeks are going to be Aikido presentations, okay? We did the series a year plus ago. So another series, probably that same group of teachers. There was Noah, Tija, Moon, and on and on and on. So there'll be a series of teachers, and Susan, Elaine, and a whole bunch of folks, right? So you get to exercise for the next few weeks. So for those of you who are on me about moving more, I'm giving up on moving, as you've probably noticed. You'll have your chance to move a bunch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, during this period of time, again, if you want to write in anything, observations, questions, things that aren't as clear to you that you think should be clearer, whatever, I'll peruse them and see if it's something I can bring up when I get back on. So feel free to send letters to Lauren. You want to remind them?
I certainly will, Sensei. And
Okay.
so So I will issue invitations for the next 3 weeks with a teaching plan for the different instructors, but essentially we're hoping to have 4 instructors per night. We'll meet at the exact same time as we do with Nadeau Sensei, but we're going to have, you know, Aikido roulette or speed dating. I'm not sure what to call it, but we'll have rapid succession of instructors who will all do some different aspect of the same thing. And so we look forward to seeing you all, and thank you all. And I'm reminded to remind everyone that donations are gratefully accepted and most appreciated. And thank you and good night. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank
Oh,
you,
Sensei, I
Sensei.
just have
Thank you.
one more thing to say,
Ron.
Sensei.
Yo. Yes.
Oh, it didn't work. Sorry, forget it. I'm
Did you-
sorry. Good night.
Gito. For this?
Thank you, Sensei. Have a great
Thank
night.
you,